What's up, guys? It's Chris Colgan here, your favorite Northern Virginia realtor. Let's talk about inflation and the rising interest rates and how it's going to affect the Virginia and DC market as a whole. So we all know the last 2 or 3 years, the real estate market was pretty out of control, even during the pandemic. And with the housing shortage and the lack of supplies and the supply chain issues and not many people wanting people coming in and out of their house for showings, we saw a really low inventory, and the Fed stepped in and pushed rates down as low as like 2.25% to 2.5% at some point, and that obviously made prices rise in our area like crazy. And we also had this perfect storm where there was a lack of housing in our area, which also made rent prices highly increase. So what ended up happening here lately is to stop inflation, which we all know means the cost of goods and all that is getting a lot more expensive compared to what the dollar is worth and how far your money can go. Well, to stop inflation, the Fed has had to step in and slowly start raising interest rates, and we've clearly seen the stock market rely on that. They'll have some weeks and all that where they go on a rally, but the thing is they've had to slowly start pushing up interest rates. And the other day I did talk to someone at the Chick-fil-A line, one of my favorite places, and the girl was telling me, yeah, I just locked in at 5%, and I was kind of like taken back a little bit, and I was like, whoa, they're already up to 5%. And the thing is like that is obviously going to have an effect on the market. And also, like, as each percent goes up, which I've said in prior videos, that's like 50,000 or so off of sales price. So you take that into the average cost of goods and all that. And someone was telling me, like, new homes, even a lot of them are not even giving you a price. They're saying, hey, we'll let you know when the house is done what we think the range will be. And I honestly don't really recommend always going and buying a new home, but that's a topic for another new video. So as we start to see inflation rise and all that, and prices go up, I think that's going to have a huge impact, because if you're going around buying things and that costs that much more money, that's going to like really not push you to want to go buy a bigger house or get a higher mortgage and all that. And a lot of people locked in very, very early, to these high interest rates, and they jumped, in the low interest rates, and they jumped into the market and were able to get a place. And some of those people now, there's still a lack of inventory, right? What I'm starting to see the last few weeks, more and more stuff come on the market. So that is showing that there's going to be less and less competition, and more home buyers are going to have a little bit more options, which to me is honestly a good thing. So inflation in general, not a good thing for our local real estate market. I think it's going to slow down our market somewhat. Obviously, the Fed is trying to do what they can. I don't know how much they can actually do. They do all they can do at this point. I think sometimes they make matters worse than they obviously do. They certainly pumped a ton of money into the economy to save it during, the pandemic, but then obviously they had to raise rates and all that, and they're obviously at some point we're going to have to pay for all that money, right? So inflation definitely happening, definitely is going to affect the market. The other thing is interest rates. So where I'm starting to see the interest rates really take an effect is some of those first-time home buyers that were getting like 4 to 450, they're now getting approved to 3 to 350, so that condo, smaller townhouse market is starting to shrink, which sort of has a ripple effect, right? Because if you're living in a $400,000 townhouse and you want to buy that $700,000 single family in Sterling or whatever, and your townhouse is not moving as quickly, you're not going to be able to sell that and move up to the next house, and the next person's going to be able to sell and all that. So it kind of has a ripple chain effect on the whole market. Now, I don't think it's going to be as drastic as it was in the mid 2000s, because we had obviously all that fake money out there. But where I think it's going to start to become a problem is, I was on a listing appointment the other day, and I met with somebody about selling their house, and they thought their house was worth about $100,000 more than what I thought. And they were telling me, hey, you know what? Like, the market's just going up and up. It's not going to stop. We want to cash out. And what I told them was, look, yeah, it's going up and up, but it's slowly starting to stop. As we've seen, gas is $4 a gallon. You live 45 minutes past Gainesville, where I live, which is further away from DC. So someone that was, spending $2.50 a gallon, now they're spending $4 something, they're not going to be as excited to purchase your house. And also, the rising interest rates already costing them more money. So that's certainly going to have an effect on your home sale. And they really just weren't seeing it, which is fine. And they decided to go with another agent, if you can believe it. And what they just said was, hey, you know what? The other agent thinks our price can get there, and we're gonna get it. And a lot of agents will do that. They'll tell you, hey, you know what? Your house is worth money. And then as soon as you list it, they're gonna start pushing you to lower it and all that. And what I told them was, I'd rather have you be mad at me now instead of being mad at me later. But what it really showed me was some of the consumers really haven't realized the effect that all this is gonna have. And like I said, we've already seen a lot of inventory coming on the market. I know some predictions are we're gonna see about 30% more more houses on the market. And I also had heard the National Association of Realtors were saying there was an expectation of like 6 million sales, and now they're thinking it's going to be around like 4.5 to 4.75 million due to the rising interest rates. So obviously that stuff is going to affect our market in general and as a whole. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. One other quick thing is someone was telling me that 80% of the refinances are down. So a lot of the lenders now are pivoting and they're trying to get back into like the purchases, which I've only do like purchasing obviously, but that is also a huge sign to me because a lot of people locked in early to those interest rate and they're not going to want to get out of that rate lock if they're sitting at 2.75 and then you go to move and you're purchasing at 5%. So that will also have a ripple effect as well. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Click above me. I got another video that I think you guys should watch. Definitely subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later.